All right, tell me if this has happened to you or if it's just me, but you go out and you give an estimate to a client and you put on your best personality for this client. You go back to your office, you write them up an estimate, a great estimate, you send it to them, and then it's crickets. You never hear anything back from the client. You try and call them back that day, just rings and rings and rings, goes to voicemail, or their voicemail is full or whatever, or not set up, and you call them back the next day, call them back the next day, call them back the next day, nothing. Right? You've been completely ghosted. This has happened to me so many times and it's absolutely insane. I remember when I first started out in this business, the way that I managed it is basically one day a week I would set aside for estimates. So Monday, Tuesday I would work in the field and Wednesday would be all estimates. So I'd have an estimate at 8, estimate at 9, estimate at 10, estimate at 11. And what happened is I would go out to the client's house, I would take a notepad, I would write out the whole laundry list of what they needed done. And they're like, okay, what's this gonna cost me? And I was too scared to give them a price like up front. So I would be like, well, I'm gonna go home, talk to my wife and work this up, and then I'll send you an estimate here, at the end of the day or tomorrow. And they'd be like, okay. And thinking about that now, right? When I said that to people, they probably just called the next handyman and had them come out and kind of give them an estimate as well. These people were just kind of fishing for prices, and I was just playing along in that game. So when I actually sent the estimate out the next day, it was crickets, right? Because at the end of the day, I feel like they just wanted a price. And once they got that price, they kind of fell off the face of the earth because they found someone cheaper. That's crazy. So I've changed a lot of things as far as my sales process goes, and I wanted to share that with you guys today. Hey friends, welcome to day 18 of my 100-day video challenge. We are basically going for the next 100 days, 100 business days. I'm making a handyman video a day. Super stoked, going back to when I first started out in my business, sharing some stories, a lot of failures, a lot of lost money, and then also some successes along the way, trying to impart some wisdom here. So today I wanted to talk about the Handyman Sales Handbook. I wrote this book, I think it was last year or maybe 2 years ago, and it's really been implemented by a lot of handyman from all around the world. It's got a lot of great reviews on Amazon, so that's fantastic. It's been really exciting to kind of create this process and see it kind of come to light. So basically what I do now as far as estimates go is I don't go out and kind of do a tap dance for the clients and try and get them to hire me, because that always results in ghosting, right? You spend all this time, you spend a whole day writing up estimates and just ghost, crickets, right? No one ever calls you back. In this handyman sales process, what we've done is you can sell all of this stuff from the comfort of your office or the comfort of your home. So now instead of doing 8 estimates in a day because you have one every hour, right, and you have to actually go out there in person and spending all this gas and this time and this and that, you can now do 30 estimates in a day from your phone, which is pretty cool. So when someone calls in, we take down their information, we have them send us pictures, we look over the pictures, and basically we give them a quote right over the phone. And at the end of the day, two things happen, right? It helps that, you give them a price right up front and they either go away, right away, because they don't like your price and that's really all they were fishing for. Or number 2, they're like, wow, thank you for getting me a quote, right away. I definitely want to go with you. You're the first person that has given me a quote, let's go. Right? And they're ready to rock and roll. So there's a lot of different aspects about the sales process, and we'll dig into that here in the next few days. But the whole overarching theme is to give people what they want, right away. Because there's a lot of things that you can do to basically tell right away if a client is your ideal client or even wants to work with you. And one of those big factors is giving them a price. Say they call up and they say, I want a ceiling fan, a light fixture, and a kitchen faucet. Well, you should know what your hourly rate is. Don't charge by the hour, but charge by the job. But you have to know what your hourly rate is. If you want more information about that, we talked about that last week. I'll put a link in the up here. Okay, you got to know what your hourly rate is. So when someone calls in and they need roughly 3 hours worth of work, you can shoot them a quote right there. There's no having to take some time to think about it and write it up. You just say, hey, this is going to cost you about $500, and at the end of the day, they're going to be like, wow, that's crazy. That's insane. Thanks for the price, right? And then they're going to call someone else if they're price shopping. But if not, they're like, okay, great, $500 sounds good. When can you do it? And you can actually book the job right there on the phone. So this doesn't necessarily work for like big things like, you know, I mean, it could work for bathroom remodels. You can always give them a range. You know, a pretty big range will help, and then you go out and see it to kind of narrow that range down. But it really works really well for small, intricate items like that. Kitchen faucets, garbage disposals, gates, fence posts, things that are like pretty much the same across the board. I mean, obviously there's problems that come up, and that's another part of the sales process. Is there is you know, a part in there where it's called the truth, right? You're telling them the truth of like, hey, this is the price of a typical thing like this, but there's always a possibility that something else might occur while we get out there, or we get out there and we, you know, pull the wall apart and we're like, oh, we didn't notice this, right? And you can also implement the same thing on bigger projects as well. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been day 18 of my 100-day video challenge. I'm super stoked to keep bringing these videos to you. I would love to hear your thoughts on this challenge. Drop me a comment in the comment section below, and also like this video and subscribe to this channel. And also, I have a whole bunch of tools and resources that I would recommend in the details section of this video that I would highly recommend you check out. It's a lot of things that have helped me kind of grow my business, tools that I've used along the way, and I would love to hear your thoughts as well. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow, which will be day 19. Have a great day, everyone.